In the wake of Andy Ruiz's amazing victory over Anthony Joshua, it seems like the most likely next step is an immediate rematch. But I am not so sure that that is in AJ's best interests. The great Joe Louis, excuse me, the Brown Bomber, had about 10 rematches, the vast majority of which he won by knockout. I think he won them all, but one by knockout. He was great at correcting flaws, adapting to styles. He would talk with his trainer, former fighter Jack Blackburn, they'd iron it out and they'd get it right on the second time. The only immediate rematch he had was against the very shifty and tricky Jersey Joe Walcott, and he was being given all kinds of problems in that rematch, just like he was in the first fight, before the famous right hand bailed him out in the 11th round. Apart from that, every other rematch at least had one fight in between it, allowing him that bit of breathing room to adapt to those mistakes that he made, figure them out, identify them, so that he was on point in the rematch when it really mattered. Now, a more relevant, more modern example to Joshua's loss to Ruiz is actually Vladimir Klitschko's loss to Lamont Brewster back in 2004. A younger Vladimir, a more offensively minded Vladimir who had a leakier defence, who wasn't even jabbing much in that fight, put it on Brewster, floored him, but then pretty much right back in the next round, Brewster mugged him by getting up close, got him tired, got him out of there. Klitschko also seemed a bit anxious that night, quite a few parallels there. But the difference is, Klitschko, who I think still was being trained by Manny Stewart at that point, that is when they started to change things. He morphed from an offensive guy to more of a boring, we know, but more effective safety first guy who started to cover up the holes in his defence, or at least come up with safety measures like clinching to prevent him getting mugged like that again. I think he had a rematch with Chris Bird. I think he fought Calvin Brock and someone else before rematching Brewster again in 2007, and Brewster was really battered. Eddie Hearn is a very smart promoter, but he likes to make big power plays, and kind of worryingly, he's already said, maybe just seeing all the gold, that if AJ beats Ruiz in a rematch, that's a big if, then the fight with Wilder is massive. That to me sounds like he is looking far too much into the future. There is a possibility that they were slightly overlooking Ruiz in this fight. If they were to do that again in a rematch, they are insane. If he loses again to Ruiz, where does he go? Is it over for AJ as a top flight heavyweight? They have to really address his flaws. And the best way to do that, I know Eddie Hearn wouldn't like it, would be to have Joshua fight maybe about 3 times in a year against top 15 guys, teach him how to clinch, work on his jab, get him in situations where we can test that defense a little bit more, round out all those obvious flaws he has, and then go back at it. The slight problem is Ruiz has 4 belts. He could fight someone else. He could lose them. One of them could get pinched from him from inactivity, then be made vacant. We know how easy it is for the belts to disperse. So in a way, Eddie Hearn is also considering, well, Joshua swept up those 4. We don't want to lose all that hard work again and go and have to hunt them out individually. It's a very dangerous game. It sounds like the immediate rematch is a possibility. I don't think Joshua can improve enough in that time to be able to deal with Ruiz's style, which is clearly a problem for him at the moment. If the rematch does go ahead, even if it's in the UK with bent judges and a dodgy referee, as things stand, I would have to say Ruiz, repeat.